We're 2 weeks away from the NBA trade deadline. We've already had a big name on the move, or at least the beginnings of. Spurs saying Wednesday LaMarcus Aldridge won't return to the team. It's ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting San Antonio is in potential trade talks, hoping they can find a deal and avoid a contract buyout. 7 times an All-Star. He's got a $24 million expiring contract. That is huge. And a soon-to-be former coach who wishes him nothing but the best.
He's been a great teammate. He's done everything we've asked. And at this point, just like to do something that will work for him as much as for our club, because he deserves that.
Greg Popovich there. Senior NBA writer Brian Windhorst is with us on SportsCenter AM. Brian, what are you hearing about where Aldridge could end up?
Yeah, so over the next 2 weeks, we're going to hear a lot about power forwards because they're very desired in the market. And we're also going to hear about the cost of renting players, and that's where LaMarcus Aldridge fits, a power forward who is available for rental, who makes $24 million. It's a very hard trade to put together. There's only a few teams that really can do it in a straight-up trade. One of them is the Boston Celtics, with a $28 million trade exception. They could do it very easily. The problem, Randy, is that do they want to use that trade exception on a guy they may only have for a couple of months? So if he doesn't end up getting traded, we could see him get bought out 2 weeks from now, and then you will see a free-for-all trying to get LaMarcus Aldridge. The Lakers could be in that game. The Phoenix Suns, where he almost signed a few years ago, could be in that game. Even the Portland Trail Blazers, where he started his career, could be in that game, in addition to the Celtics at that point.
Yeah, a reunion of sorts, right, with Dame Lillard and everybody in the Pacific Northwest. Speaking of uncertain futures here, Kyle Lowry's name has surfaced in recent weeks as a potential trade target. How would you describe the likelihood that he gets dealt by March 25th?
This is the biggest question probably facing the NBA leading up to the trade deadline, because this is a player who absolutely is a game changer in the NBA, potentially for a contender. And the thing about it is the Raptors are kind of on the fence. They're a team that's got some opportunities to advance in the playoffs. And Lowry, I think, would like the Raptors to maybe trade for a piece. But if that doesn't happen, he absolutely could be on the move. And the team to watch there would be Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a team that could make the best offer for him. So keep an eye on that. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but certainly by a week from now. Another team that's going to be selling that we think for sure, the Houston Rockets. Victor Oladipo is absolutely available. But again, a rental player. How much do you pay for a player that you may only have for a couple of months? Oladipo, in talking to league executives, they believe he could go cheap. The other would be P.J. Tucker, who is a player who's been on the market for weeks with no resolution, but I expect he'd get traded. The guy who's getting the most calls is the youngest guy of this group. Again, versatile power forward, John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks. This is a guy that is a free agent to be. The Hawks may or may not pay him. They have been getting a steady stream of calls. This would be a big price that they would be asked to pay here. So I don't know if they can find a deal, but they're going to get calls all the way up until the deadline. And one buyer that we should watch out for are the New York Knicks. They've already made one additional trade in to get Derrick Rose, and they're out there looking in the market. They have 3 picks in this draft, including a very high second-round pick and the Detroit Pistons second-round pick that they own. And the expectation with $15 million in salary cap space and using one of those picks is that they intend to add to try to make sure they can make the playoffs.
Right now they're in. I mean, the season doesn't end in March, but we're talking about a 5th place New York Knicks team, currently 1 game over 500. That is Brian Windhorst talking about the Knicks being buyers on SportsCenter.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.